But anyway, so we had Ospreay and Fletcher that have taken the path that we have just described to you, ladies and gentlemen. And, all of the top AEW talent, Will here and old Kyle here, they're all MDs. You know that, Brian. They got their degrees. They're MDs, move doers. And again, for the kind of people who like that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing those people like. But they can't contain themselves because for the only audience that these guys care about getting over to, this is what they want. But a billionaire is spending money on these people to do more than lose ratings and lose interest because it's all the same goddamn shit. They think they're in a video game and they're going to base that on everything they do. And they're trying to make Kyle, as we said, 18 months in an OVW or a small regional territory, if something like that existed. I'm not talking about today's OVW. I'm talking about in the day. You could develop him or NXT possibly. But no, you ain't gonna get, he's bald. He looks years older because he did look 14, but he also looks miles more boring. It ain't all together yet. They're doing it out. They're doing the rehearsals in front of the fucking audience on opening night. And they started 100 miles an hour with a choreographed routine. And they have no reactions to what is happening because they're facially so intent on nailing the next flip and ducking the next fucking swing your partner do-si-do. And it's either by the numbers memorized swing dancing or everything that they do individually looks fake. So they do a bunch more of them thinking that will make it better. They'd go on the floor forever and the referee gawks. The camera stayed off of Ospreay for so long so he could get his color that I thought they'd forgotten he was there. And then Fletcher now is a blood licker. Did you see the blood licking, Brian, off of his boots and everything?
Yeah, I saw it. I hate whenever they do anything like that, drinking blood or licking their hands covered in blood. I'm not a fan of that.
I mean, again, if it was Abdullah the Butcher that came to your town once a fucking year doing it, oh my God, but it's like but at least he wasn't drinking it out of a water fountain like old Who's-He What's-He was, a Swerve. But anyway, but this is what they do. Ospreay they'll get some heat on him and then he'll make a big comeback with his flips and then Kyle will suplex him on his head, so Ospreay will just stand up and grab Kyle and do a backflip with him. And then they'll both lay there. Okay, go up and hit somebody in the head with a baseball bat and knock them down and let them pop right back up and then give you a uranagi, and then they'll realize that their brains are melting down the back of their shoulder blade. They traded chops while daring the other guy to give them chops, and then they flipped back and forth some more. I wrote down while they're not selling, but then they both sell the guy that got hit and the guy that hit the guy that got hit. And I guess that's to prove that they do sell, whether it makes any sense or not. And then they did a headbutt exchange where they both got on their knees and they traded headbutts over and over, not working headbutts, not using their hand, but just headbutting each other. But it was both fake and real. They were hard enough to hurt, but obviously being pulled to try not to hurt too bad. So was that worth the fucking potential hematoma, Brian, when you're trying to do something that you think will convince people that it's somehow real when you can still tell it's not, but you're really hurting yourself? Help me.
No, I don't think it's a good idea, and I think it's something that even hardcore wrestling AEW fans probably are uncomfortable with. Again, Shibata had to have his brain removed, according to the Wrestling Observer, after the headbutt spot.
Yeah.
It was that spot.
And it doesn't even make me uncomfortable because I don't care about either of these guys, whether they do brain damage themselves, but it makes me uncomfortable as a professional to see people do stupid, phony shit that also hurts. So there's that. And then Ospreay kicked out of a brainbuster and a power bomb and a lot of leg slaps and immediately jumped up and grabbed the fucking guy that had just done all those things, old Kyle Fletcher, and fucking picked him up, gave him a Styles Clash 1, 2, 3. I've never seen he brainbustered Ospreay and he power bombed him and he kicked and slapped that leg a couple of times, and Ospreay just like, oh fuck it, Styles Clash 1, 2, 3.
That is something you see a lot in modern wrestling. The idea, I mean, the selling's an issue everywhere, but someone gets killed with a bunch of stuff and all of a sudden they have a burst of energy and they jump up and do something ridiculous. In this case, it was the finish with someone else's finish, the Styles Clash.
Well, yeah, and again, I know that, you know.
Why not the Tiger Driver? He was so afraid to use it and then he used it. Why not use it against the guy you were afraid that he knows where your kids go to school and everything?
Well, maybe he's still afraid because he knows where his kids go to. I don't know, but I know that Pockets, the mascot, does the stunner, and, you know, and that just reminds people of Austin, but, you know, and now Owens, and Austin and Owens have the connection where he doesn't mind it, he used it, so whatever, but he's a joke. But if this guy's going to be fucking a legitimate top guy, why is he using another guy's fucking finish? Again, the joke, the mascot, does the Roman Reigns's too. He does everybody. It's the fucking rib. But not a serious guy. Anyway, and not in a non-serious way. So
you didn't like that match at all? You didn't like it at all?
Well, how can they're, again, I've said they're both great athletes and they can do wonderful shit that if it was produced, if they had been taught by anybody that knew what the fuck they were doing before they figured that they fucking knew everything that they needed to know, if that makes sense to you, then yes, both and Ospreay, he's amazing. He can sell and make the comeback with the I sound like Pat Patterson now. But not when it's just a video game nonsense match over and over, and it looks like everybody else is just executed better, but nothing is over because the individual moves aren't over. The fucking no, you cannot prostitute the idea of doing any of these things, picking a guy up and dropping him right on his fucking head for a 2 count. And then the guy pops up a second later and does something. You cannot prostitute the entire business just to let these guys live out their fantasies of being Olympic level gymnasts and of some kind of action video game. They could both be taught and produced and developed to be good wrestlers, but in left to their own devices, they do this mark fucking bullshit. And there you have it. Sorry.
Well, let me ask it this way too. The fans there really seemed into this more than anything else on the show. And they had an opening match, and we know how things work there. These guys did everything they wanted to do. There wasn't an agent saying, hey, hold back a little bit. They went a while. They did everything they wanted to do. The fans were into it. The fans didn't react to shit the rest of the night.
Exactly, because you don't put the goddamn second coming of Jesus Christ on first and then end up the show with the fucking, what do you want to have for the Last Supper?
I mean, like Brett versus Owen opened the show and was an amazing match, but they didn't do everything. You know, they didn't kick out of everything.
No, and then it was Wrestle fucking Mania, and there was still some things to do.
Should WWE have their eyes on when Kyle Fletcher's contract comes up, based on his size, his age, and what he could do?
Well, the only thing is, yes to all of those things, but I don't know what kind. Is he one of these knuckleheads like Ricochet that obviously just wants to play in traffic? Or is he a guy that's coachable and teachable and can adapt to working with the professionals? That's the only thing I don't know, because I've never met the guy. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm sure he's a wonderful fellow, but does he understand that he's on an indie level kind of path now, and he would need to have the input of real professionals? So, but yeah, no, they both can do all kinds of shit. That's not the problem. The problem is they do all this shit. And the people like it, yes, because it's crazy in the building in front of them. And then what's going to follow it? Number one, so they've shit on everybody else on the card. And number two, what can you, again, they're pouring bleach down people's throats and they're throwing them off balconies through furniture. And there's a flamethrower on the fucking guy, right? And nobody still cares. Nobody believes any of it, even when the guy's really on fucking fire. It's just bullshit to these fans. Yay! But that's why they're tuning out, because how many more motherfuckers can you set on fire? They've seen it. You need Agent Orange now, where the skin will melt off. That's why things don't get over, because none of these personalities are over, or their reasons for interacting, a la Seth Rollins and CM Punk, or any story that the WWE has going today, practically, where the people care about the people involved and why they're treating each other that way, so they don't have to fucking amputate limbs. They've got the pile driver over again. These stupid motherfuckers are kicking out leaping tombstone pile drivers on fucking stairs because they're idiots and they're marks for themselves, and the billionaire that's paying them more money than most of them are worth is a mark for that shit too. And that's why that he's spending all his fucking money to fucking do this instead of create any type of serious fucking competition.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but part of the issue, like I said before, the wrestlers decide what they're going to do in the ring. There's no agent overruling anyone. Tony's not going to do it. And part of the reason for all this is Tony's in the back, listening to his favorite songs from the 80s, trying to find songs that will fit in different places in the AEW universe with his Raycon earbuds.
Well, you know, that's a thing that I almost forgot about. Well, it's been so long since we did one of these fun, but it's been a year, Brian. I almost forgot that we could mention some of our friends on the program as well in this type of thing. And our friends at Raycon are friends of ours, and therefore they're friends of yours. They're forever friends. And, you know, that's why. Now that I think about it, Tony's back there. He's watching the monitor. He sees what's going on, but he doesn't realize that it doesn't make sense because he's listening to, let's say, the Pointer Sisters on his Raycon everyday wireless earbuds. But folks, you don't have to just listen to tired 80s music. No, you can go for the classics, the Zeppelin, the Stones, or you can go for the modern day stuff with the Ditties and the Daddies. I don't know who these modern people are.
Let's not go for them. Let's also not put down the Pointer Sisters as being tired 80s things. What the hell is that?
As far as for a wrestling application, it certainly is, but we'll get to that when we talk about Dynamite. But folks, you can even listen to us on your Raycon everyday earbuds. They're the perfect gym buddy. Let's say you're in, I'm not talking about me, Jim. I'm
you
talking
got a new
about,
buddy, I hear.
Well, it's one of those bouncy buddies. But no, it's at the gym, GYM, where the gymnasium, where you go to work out. You're going to listen to something while you're sweating to the oldies, sweating to the newbies. Sweating makes the world go round. Or let's say you want to tune out a coworker. Just put these things in your ear. They're so small and they're wireless. Most nearsighted people won't even notice them. You can just nod and smile and you can listen to whatever you want to listen to. Or let's say you want to talk on the phone. Well, you can talk into your phone, but you can hear them on your Raycons, can't you? And if you're on a three-way call, well, you can hear one son of a gun on the left or one son of a gun on the right, and you can just drop out of the middle of the conversation and let them fight it out. Because they've got active multi-point connectivity where you can pair these two suckers up and then let them go at it while you stand back and watch the carnage. And they come with active noise cancellation. So if the profanity gets too much, you can just, boom, cancel that noise right now. As a matter of fact, when you're talking to somebody and you activate the active noise cancellation, boom, a recording comes up to say, you've been canceled for your noise, motherfucker.
Again, that does not happen. Again, these are features that are actually part of Raycon, but these are not applications or ways to use it that Jim has no idea. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, you mean to say when you cancel somebody's noise, you don't even have the courtesy to tell them about it?
I don't know. Again, it's noise canceling, but I don't know if that's exactly how it's applied. So it's a feature.
Well,
it's certainly a feature they have, the fine Raycon earbuds.
Yes, well, you want to talk about features. They start at just half the price of the other premium audio brands, but they sound just as good, and they come in a variety of vibrant colors. So you can match your style, or you can match your skin tone, or I like the checkerboard. Really, a lot of people come up and try to do a double jump and get me to king them. But right now, if you want to go to buyraycon.com, that's BUYRAYCON.com/JCE, you can get 15% off site-wide of everything you buy there. And as we've said, let's say you buy 10 pair, that's 150% off. That means that they're going to pay you half just to take them. It's amazing what you can do with this new math. So if you think 2025 is going to suck, folks,
we're using the old math, ladies and gentlemen.
It hadn't come in yet to use the new math.
No, new math is not a thing yet. No.
Oh, well, okay. Well, using the old math, you're still going to get 15% off. So 2025 is going to suck. We know that already. So just don't listen to it. Listen to what you want to listen to on your Raycon everyday wireless earbuds. 15% off at buyraycon.com/JCE.
That's right. Raycon.